Colorectal cancer is affecting younger and younger people now, more than ever before. And with us this morning is Dr. David Liska from the Cleveland Clinic and Carmen Sussman, who is diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer, but is currently in remission, and that's a good thing. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Carmen, let me just start with you. What's your story, man?
So when I was 45, about 2 years ago, I was went in for a checkup for something unrelated, and follow-up turned out to be stage 4 colorectal cancer.
Mm-hmm. Checkup for what?
I was having some other health issues that I needed to get checked out, and through a sonogram, they found a tumor in my liver, which they found that because I have a horseshoe kidney.
Okay.
So as they were looking for my right kidney, they saw the liver and saw the spot there.
Yeah.
And I went in for an MRI, and it turned out it was cancer. And at first, they thought it was liver cancer.
Yeah.
But because that's kind of rare, through some other checking and colonoscopy, found the rectal cancer.
At that point, man, what went through your mind? What were you thinking at that point?
I thought that I only had a short time to teach my girls everything I wanted to teach them about life.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, how old were you?
45.
45 years old. So, doctor, this is something that we're seeing more and more of. Individuals 45, under 50, being diagnosed with colorectal cancer.
Yeah, no, it's an alarming trend that we've been seeing here in the U.S., but also in the rest of the industrialized world, where we're seeing younger and younger people being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. And similar to Carmen here, because we only start screening with colonoscopies at the age of 50, we have seen that young people, when they present, they usually have some symptom that's causing it, and a lot of time the cancer is more advanced, like it was in Carmen's case.
Do we have any idea why it's happening like this?
We have a lot of theories, and we know about different risk factors for colorectal cancer, such as, example, smoking, sedentary lifestyle, diets that are high in red meat. So we know some risk factors, but we don't fully understand why we are seeing such an alarming trend happening now. And there must be other factors that we don't appreciate yet, and we and others are studying this.
Carmen, was that you at all? You said that your lifestyle, red meat and all that stuff. Was that your story?
No. So we were hiking, we were walking. I felt great, honestly. So when I was diagnosed, it was a shock.
Yeah.
It was a kick in the chest.
Yeah. So let's talk about the signs. What can people look for, or is there anything you can look for?
Yeah, there are some signs, but it's important to realize that colorectal cancer often has no symptoms, and that's why we focus a lot on screening. Yeah. But in young people, such as Carmen, they aren't supposed to get screening yet until they turn 45 now.
Is that still the case?
45. It used to be 50.
Now it's down to 45.
A few years ago, it changed to 45 because of this trend we're seeing. So very often there are no symptoms at all, but there are symptoms that are associated with colorectal cancer, such as bleeding or blood in your stool, tarry stools, abdominal pain, a change in your bowel habits, if you go from being regular to having constipation or diarrhea. But it can be also more vague symptoms like weight loss or weakness. So anything that comes up where your body is telling you something is different, pay attention to it.
You were stage 4.
Yes.
Man, what a blessing that you are able to, you're now, healthy, doing well. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be here.
Yeah.
Cleveland Clinic has amazing doctors, staff, nurses. Everybody there is amazing. So, and I'm very aware of how fortunate I am.
When you start seeing those symptoms, are you advanced in the disease at that point?
Not always. Okay. Not always, but yeah, without symptoms, usually the cancer can be earlier. Okay. And the earlier you find it, the better the chance for cure.
Yeah. A lot of men, especially men, how we are. We worry about, being checked, that colon check and that kind of thing. Talk about that thing. I mean, is it as bad as it seems?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. First of all, people don't like talking about the bowel habits, cancer. Having colonoscopy, a lot of people don't like the idea of it. That being said, it's not as bad as people think it is.
Okay.
The preparation that you do the day before to clean yourself out, and then during the colonoscopy itself, you usually are asleep for it. You don't feel anything. So it's not as bad of a test as people think it is.
Yeah.
No.
Had you taken that before?
Before that, no.
Yeah.
But now that I've been stage 4, I'll get checked more regularly than most people, just to make sure there isn't a reoccurrence. But I think the biggest takeaway for me was just, like Dr. Liska said, pay attention to your body, look for signs, don't think it's nothing, and more importantly, whenever you're encountering people, lead with kindness. You don't know what people are going through.
Would you just, in everyday life,
In
right?
everyday life. And it could be whether I'm having a bad day because I had cancer, or even caregivers, family members. You just don't know. So start with kindness, assume positive intent. My wife tells me that all the time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice, no doubt. Doctor, what's the message that you want to present to people today?
So I think the message, just like Carmen just said, when you notice a new symptom that wasn't there before, don't brush it off. Listen to your body. Bring it up with your provider. Bring it up with your primary care provider, and discuss if it should be checked out.
Wow, Carmen, you're amazing, man. How bad did it get when you were going through it, the chemo and all that stuff, the radiation, all that stuff? Because a lot of people fear that as well.
You do, but if you have a reason to fight, you fight. And I have an amazing family, and that was the hardest part, not being able to be part of everything that they were doing.
Yeah.
Because they still had their lives. My girls still had their sports, and they had their school, and my wife had work. So you have something to fight for. So you regardless of how bad it seems, somebody always has it worse. So you just keep fighting, and you do what you can.
When you reach stage 4, doctor, how often do you see a success story like Carmen?
You know, it's very important when you have stage 4 that you're treated by a multidisciplinary team. Like Carmen said, you know, he got radiation, he got chemo, he got surgery, you know, with a colorectal surgeon, with a liver surgeon.
You got the whole thing.
So you need to be at a place where you're having a multidisciplinary team that work well together. We're lucky at the Cleveland Clinic that we have such a team, and we're able to help people like Carmen.
Well, Carmen, you're absolutely amazing, doctor. God bless you as well for what you do, and hopefully people get the message. You know, it's good to get checked at 45 for sure. It's 45 now. Go in and get that, you know, that colonoscopy, that kind of thing, and to make sure that everything's okay. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.